Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews. I'm your host, Matt Spease, and today we are rounding out our New Year's Eve horror film reviews with New Year's Evil from 1980. New Year's Evil stars Roz Kelly, Kip Niven, Grant Cramer, Chris Wallace, Jed Mills, Louisa Moritz, Teri Copley, Taafe O'Connell, and John Alderman. The film is directed by Emmett, Alston. Now, this is the one that I said I had to flip because I originally had this one as my second review in this series, but I refused to have this one be second and then end with Bloody New Year, because as you saw in my review, Bloody New Year was an atrocity. New Year's Evil, on the flip side, is a much better, much more cohesive, better made film with a better plot to it. It stars Roz Kelly, who was better known for most of us older people who know about these things as Arthur Fonzarelli's, the Fonz's main girlfriend for a while, named Pinky on Happy Days. Here she is playing a character named Diana Sullivan, who goes by the stage name Blaze. And ironically, I think the makers of Streets of Rage were huge fans of New Year's Evil for some reason, because their character in the Streets of Rage games, named Blaze, basically has an outfit that looks very, very reminiscent. And her look, her hair, her style, her look, looks a lot like Roz Kelly's Blaze in this film. So, there's a bit of trivia for you. But she is a punk rock personality who is doing a New Year's Eve celebrating of the letting people vote for the top punk rock bands and songs. Then she gets a call during this by a very demented character.
Ballet's here. A crazy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, Blaze.
Ooh, some kind of voice you got there. Sound like the Phantom.
You could call me that.
So you got a name, Phantom?
Call me Evil.
And with that creepy voice and everything, it's apparent where New Year's Evil got its inspiration. And it's definitely got a lot of inspiration from Black Christmas. The creepiness of evil in here is very much kind of, I think, inspired by the creepiness of Billy in Black Christmas. This film just has the most weird and eccentric, weird, crazy characters in it. Some of them even more twisted and weird than the actual killer, Evil. And one of them is Diane / Blaze's son Derek, played by Grant Cramer, who would later gain more notoriety as the lead in Killer Clowns from Outer Space. But In this, he is playing one of the weirdest characters in cinema history. He reveals that he likes to take her pantyhose and put them over his head. Wow. He's got a infatuation with his mother, as if he wants to be with her. And she never wants to give him the time of day. He'll tell her stuff.
I got some good news.
Oh, that's nice, honey.
Got a part in a new series. Spaceship America.
Ah, Ernie, I just remembered I want to see those press releases Yvonne has before she passes them out. Got it? Okay.
And then there's this punk rock group that we see throughout the film at the very beginning on the opening title sequence as the main theme song, New Year's Evil, plays in the background, which is not a bad song. Got some pretty cool highs from the vocalist in there. Pretty cool.
But then after playing that song during the opening titles, once they get to the club, they play it again. On stage, the band performs it, all completely over once again.
And then, later on, Evil goes after his first victim. And we see Evil, played by Kip Niven, and he looks pretty much like a normal guy when he's not getting on the phone and doing that creepy-ass voice. And he romances this nurse named Jane that's in this insane asylum that he's snuck into. And the whole time all this is going on, we're cutting to these mental patients in there, and they're, you know, that's understandable that they're going to be acting a little weird, but it's funny that they are, you know, not as weird as Derek or your killer, Evil. But yeah, he ends up killing this nurse.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year from New York City!
And then he prepares, he's going to kill someone in the next time zone before the new year starts in that time zone. So he's killing based on time zones and everything. So he plans on killing 3 main victims. And we get a detective called in, a Lieutenant Clayton, played by Chris Wallace. Chris Wallace does a really good performance in this. And Roz Kelly is pretty good too as Diane in this. And Kip Niven is very good in his portrayal of the main villain, Evil, in here. We are introduced to his second victim when he disguises himself with a fake mustache. Evil does, and he enters this bar, and he picks up Louisa Moritz's character of Sally and her little friend, who she decides to bring along. And she's a fun character, and even though she's a little bit irritating, she's innocent. She's not meaning any harm. She's not trying to hurt anybody.
Transcendental meditation. Lisa and I do it every morning. Boy, that sort of stuff really works. I stopped biting my nails. Lisa got rid of her nervous diarrhea.
Sally, please.
Oh.
And, yeah, he ends up getting rid of the friend in the car, telling her to go and get him a drink. And then he proceeds to just put a bag over Sally's head and smother her. Which, again, there's another one of your little references to Black Christmas. Seems that Emmett Alston really liked Black Christmas and wanted to put a lot of references to that in this film. The phone calls, the creepy voice, and then one of the kills actually being with a bag over the person's head, you know. So then he ends up killing the other girl as well when she comes out looking for Sally. And then he goes after his third victim, a teenage girl in a movie theater, played by Teri Copley, who this is one of her early roles. She was in a lot of stuff after this, but she's almost unrecognizable in this film. From if you have seen her in anything else later, like in the 90s, she did a film with Andrew Stevens, and but she does not even look like the same girl. She's much cuter in this than she was later, unfortunately. Her boyfriend gets pulled away from her by Evil, and Evil plans on killing her. And as cute as she is, she volunteers to even give him a little bit of sexual favors if he just let her go. And Evil's too weird for that. He's not gonna do that. So he just plans on killing her. But he gets stopped alongside the road by a bunch of New Year's celebrators, and she jumps out of the car and escapes. And then those New Year's celebrators flag down a police officer, and that police officer ends up saving the day for Teri Copley's teenage girl character. But yeah, I mean, the performances in this are pretty good. It's well shot. There is just this weird sequence leading up to the movie theater scene that introduces Teri Copley's character that is weird because, I mean, you know, Kip Niven's character, disguised as a priest of all things, gets these bikers after him, and they end up chasing him and everything, and it's just a weird little sequence that I just think didn't really have a place in the movie, but it didn't really hurt the film either. But the final reveal of, and spoiler alert, I mean, if you haven't seen this, watch it. Go watch it now, you know, before I spoil this for you. But the final reveal of who Evil is, being Diana Sullivan's husband, Richard, and his reasonings for killing these people and doing this. It's pretty out there and pretty weak. And there's this sequence where he reveals it, where he is wearing this Stan Laurel mask. And I tell you what, if he would have been wearing that thing during all of his kills and all of his stuff that he was doing throughout this movie, I think Evil would have been a much more effective killer in here. Because that mask was creepy, and it is very underused in this film. He just wears it in that one scene, and then after his plans are foiled by Lieutenant Clayton. And he goes to the rooftop and just puts the mask on and then dives off the roof, killing himself. And then, of course, his crazy-ass son, Derek, comes up on him and takes the mask. And then as Diane's being wheeled away into the ambulance, it turns out that Derek's taking over where his dad left off and is wearing the mask and has killed the driver of the ambulance and just drives off. And it ends with a cliffhanger that supposedly would have set up a sequel that never happened for whatever reason. It's not a bad film, and it's not it's not like the Bloody New Year. Holy shit. So it's not a bad movie to end the new year with. In fact, I give this film, my ranking on this film is, I'll give this a 7.5 out of 10. It's not a bad film. It just has a little bit of weird elements to it that I don't know if they enhance the film, such as, Grant Cramer's weird-ass son. Like I said, Evil would have been a lot more effective had he been wearing that Stan Laurel mask the whole time. But yeah, what did you think of this movie? Do you agree with my review? Let me know in the comments down below. And as usual, if you like this review, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. So that brings us to a close on this New Year's horror film review series. I hope you have enjoyed these 3 reviews that I've done before the end of the year, and I hope you will be joining me next year for a bunch more, because I got a lot more to come. I'll see you then.